Good evening, everybody. It's Avril from Mitch Titch Yoga here. Lovely to see you all. I hope you're all well. Not been very good weather today, has it? But I must say, we've been very, very lucky all the rest of the time, haven't we? Lots of sunshine. But the poor gardens, I think, were gasping for a drink. So they've had a lovely drink today, haven't they? So the weather has been so nice. Lots of people have been making trips out, which is fine, so long as we all stick to our social distancing, remember? But one other thing we must remember, whenever we go out anywhere, it really doesn't matter where, for a walk, to the park, to the beach, up a mountain, anywhere, it really doesn't matter. We must always, always respect where we are and look after that place, mustn't we? Just like we look after our own homes and keep them clean and tidy, well, we must do the same with the great outdoors as well. After all, the great outdoors is what gives us so much fun, isn't it? Whether we go for a walk or a ride on our bike, use our scooter or our skateboard, no matter what we do have lovely times in the great outdoors, and that's why we must look after it so much. It's so, so special, and we're very, very lucky. So we've been very lucky to have the really good weather so that we can enjoy being outside. And yes, it's been a little bit rainy today, but all of the plants have been thrilled. So, because it was so nice at the weekend, quite a lot of people ventured out. And afterwards, on the television and on social media, there were lots and lots of pictures of all the rubbish that people had left behind. And I felt so, so sad. So I got to thinking, what book could I read this week? Hi Jill, I hope Ruben and Jacob are fine, and hi Joni, nice to see you. So I thought of my very good friend Jude. So Jude Lennon, if you remember, she helped me write my book too. And Jude has written a lot of books, children's books and adult books too. And she wrote one called That's Our Home. There's my sister Diane, hello. That's our home. So when I saw all the pictures at the weekend of how disrespectful to the great outdoors lots of people had been, I was quite angry. So I thought I would read Jude's book, That's Our Home. Now, another reason I'm reading this book, especially to you children, is that, do you know, a children's voice is very, very powerful. It is. If you make a suggestion or maybe tell an adult a different way of doing things, they often listen to children, especially when it's things to do with our environment or being really healthy, because then they realise that children do know what they're talking about, you know. So give it a try after we've read this story and let's see what happens, okay? So, shall we start? Let's see. Hi sis, hope you and the family are all okay. We are, thank you, Diane. So, That's Our Home by Jude Lennon, our good friend, and illustrated, so that's all of the pictures drawn, by Lisa Williams. Okay, so are we ready? Here we go. Starfish, crab and seagull live on a gorgeous beach with golden sand and waves of blue. Its name is Puffin's Reach. It used to be so lovely. Now there's rubbish on the sand. There's plastic in the water that's been dropped by human hand. Seagull has a great idea, a message they can share. With everybody on the beach, they'll say it with great flair. Don't do that, that's our home. You're just not being green. Use a bin or take it home. Keep the beaches clean. The next day, Crab goes for a walk. Past children having fun, they drop their sandwich wrappers, then turn and start to run. Crab is feeling very cross. Her claws are on her hips. The loudest voice you've ever heard comes from her tiny lips. Hi Katie, hope the kids are okay. Probably been in today, have you? Unless you've been out in your wellies. The children pick the cling film up. We're sorry, they both say. They put the litter in the bin and then don't do that. That's our home. You're just not being green. Use a bin or take it home. Keep the beaches clean. The young man stretches out an arm. He scoops the bottle out, then packs it up inside his bag. He's sorry, there's no doubt. So, hi Rachel. What could you use instead of a plastic bottle to hold your drink? Something you could use many, many times? I think we should use a reusable bottle, don't you? As seagull flies, she looks and spies a couple with a drink. Oh no, they drop their cans and straws. She has to make them think. The straws could get into the sea. That really isn't fair. She'll have to go and speak to them and try to make them care. Don't do that. That's our home. You're just not being green. Use a bin or take it home. Keep the beaches clean. The couple picked their rubbish up. We're sorry, they both said. They put it in the nearest bin, next to the lifeguard shed. See? What do you think you could use instead of a plastic straw? Maybe a paper one? Or a reusable metal one, maybe? Yeah. Good. Let me see. Crab was sitting on a rock by a group of friends. They dug a hole and filled it up with rubbish, odds and ends. Crab could not believe it. This made her feel so cross. Why don't they take their litter home? She was really at a loss. Don't do that. That's our home. You're just not being green. Use a bin or take it home. Keep the beaches clean. The friends all heard what Crab had said. They knew that she was right. Burying their rubbish was definitely not all right. See, I think they do feel a little guilty. Starfish lay inside her pool. Seaweed floated past. But when she looked more closely, plastic bags. Oh, she was aghast. People were so careless. They let them blow away. Starfish pulled herself right up. She had some things to say. Don't do that. That's our home. You're just not being green. Use a bin or take it home. Keep the beaches clean. The family grabbed the soggy bags. We'll reuse them all, said Dad. She hoped they'd learned the lesson that littering was bad. So what do you think you could use instead of plastic bags? Definitely some nice reusable ones. You can buy some lovely ones now that you can use over and over and over again. Seagull, crab and starfish looked out across their beach. Although it looked much better, there was still so many to teach. We'll have to try much harder. We need to spread the word. The planet needs our love and care. We really should be heard. Don't do that. That's our home. You're just not being green. Use a bin or take it home. Keep the beaches clean. And if you want to help us keep the planet nice and clean, spread this message far and wide so that everyone is green. Wow. How fabulous. And I just want to say a little hello to Amanda that popped up, because Amanda works at a school where I do, and she has a daughter that does yoga. And lots of times when I've asked the children there to write some beautiful yoga stories, then they have written stories about recycling. Isn't that beautiful? So just a little message from this book. Let me see. Use a refillable water or drink bottle. If you really need a straw, use a paper one or a reusable metal one. They even do little fold-up metal ones now. Instead of cling film for your sandwiches, you could use a little lunchbox or maybe a sandwich wrap, and you can use them over and over again. Always check if there are bins around, because it's much easier to just throw your bin in the rubbish bin, isn't it? If there's no bins or recycling points, take your rubbish home with you, hey? Do you think you could use a reusable bag in case the plastic ones blow away? Plastic is not good for being in the sea. And you know, you could always take a spare bag with you and do a little rubbish pick while you were there, couldn't you? And throw it in the bin. Try not to take glass with you though, because if you drop it and it smashes, it's not good for the animals, and somebody could stand on it, couldn't they? And when you're at home, don't flush anything other than loo paper down the toilet, because it could end up in the sea, couldn't it? And the sea and the sea animals hate plastic. But you know, all of these things, they don't just need to be done at the beach, they can be done at the park, can't they? Anywhere you go, on picnics, anywhere at all. As I said before, up a mountain, doesn't matter. Always take your rubbish home with you. And if we see any more pictures like we saw at the weekend, we need to really get these adults told, don't we, children? So remember what I said at the beginning, a child's voice can often do it. You get them told, won't you? Okay? I love that story too, Jill. I hope Ruben and Jacob enjoyed it too. Okay, so everybody, hope you're all snuggled down nicely for bed. And I think I'm going to make a yoga story out of this book. What do you think? Hey? Shall I record it for you? We'll definitely use our bird pose for our seagull. Okay, everybody, you take care. Have a nice sleep, and I will see you all on Friday. Night night.